distinguished Vice Chancellor, Professor Lilian Imwetiyan Salami, who is here represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor at K1 Campus, Professor John Ogene, all the principal officers of our great university, the provost, deans and directors, professors emeriti, all the esteemed professors and erudite scholars here present, top government functionaries, your Royal Highnesses, staff and students of the great University of Benin, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 248th inaugural lecture in the inaugural lecture series of the University of Benin, and it's to be delivered by no other than Professor Mrs. Caroline Edeke Ofowe, a professor of clinical psychology, with the topic Unveiling the Mask, Understanding Behavior and Empowering Humanity, the clinical psychologist in a complex world. I now invite the registrar, Mr. Ademola Bobola, to introduce the registrar, sir.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, kindly permit me to abide by the existing protocol, which has been has already been established by the PRO of the university. It is my honor and privilege to introduce and present to us members of the Vice Chancellor's entourage, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Lilian Imwetiyan Salami. As we are all aware, is a distinguished academic, fellow of many professional bodies, and currently the co-chair of Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities, and the woman who is turning around things for good in University of Benin, that you can continue to remain the best. It is therefore my honor and privilege to present her to this audience, though represented, but I want us to give her a round of applause for the good ones. Due to very pressing assignments and other engagements, the Vice Chancellor is unable to be here present, but I'm sure that the distinguished academic who is also leading the pack on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and is the Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of our Ekewa campus, the Acting Vice Chancellor and Chairman of this John Ogene. It is also my pleasure and honor to present to us a distinguished woman of excellence and an academic to the core, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Professor Adesua Osaron. And I also have another distinguished academic too, who is also the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor David Nosakare Iseko. We have here a host of very eminent scholars, and today we are privileged to have with us the provost of our very distinguished medical college, and that's the provost of our medical College of Medical Sciences, Professor E. Oviazu, is also very well with us. We have the Dean of Postgraduate Studies, ably represented here by Dr. Isokin Iheseken. We have with us the Dean of Students, and that's Professor P.O. Ibinadua, is very much here. We have with us the Post-Dean. Yes. We have the host dean, who is very much here with us today. The post-dean for today is Professor W.E. Sado. And let me apologize for presenting this late. I just want to be sure that they are properly seated before I present them to you, because you present the principal officers and other eminent members on this other side of the divide. And thus I start with the representative of the bossa, because I've not seen him around. I've just received his, he has forwarded his apology that due to other engagements involving him outside this place, for another distinguished accountant of note to stand in his stead, Dr. Dominic Eche, to stand in for him. Dr. Eche, you are recognized. And I want to also apologize to my very good friend here, the custodian of our books and publication. That's Dr. Luke Obasui, the University Librarian. And I continue with the deans. And in this case, the Dean Faculty of Agriculture, Professor E.R. Orue, is very much here with us. We have the representative of the Dean of Faculty of Arts, Dr. Felix Aigomen, is also very much here with us. We have the Dean, Faculty of Education, and that's the Faculty of their Vice Chancellor, Professor E.O.S. Iyamu. Professor B.S. Ogedegbe, Dean, Faculty of Environmental Sciences, is also here with us. We have another woman of substance here in our midst, and also somebody who is knowledgeable in things of law, the Dean, Faculty of Law, Professor V.O. Aigokaibo. We have another in the park of the Oruis, but this time around is actually being represented here. That's the Professor E.S. Omorigi standing in for Dean, Faculty of Life Sciences. We have with us also the Dean, Faculty of Pharmacy, Professor M.U. Mwago. We have with us the Dean, Faculty of Physical Sciences, ably represented by Professor K.O. Muka. We have with us a brand new director handling our Center for Gender Studies, and a woman of excellence in academia and in academic, Professor Mrs. Josephine Mokwenyi. So congratulations on your new appointment, man. We wish you all the best in the new assignment. We have the Director of Distance Learning Program, Professor C.O. Emokaro. We have with us the Director of Students Guidance and Counseling, Professor Mrs. V.E.I. Audu. We have with us the Director of Center for Educational Technology, Professor H. Oihena. We have with us the Acting Director, Institute of Child Health, Dr. D. Nwamiri. We have also the Acting Director, Institute of Education with us, that's Dr. Mrs. I.F. Iyamu. We have with us the Acting Director of IPA ES, Dr. E.O. Ogato is also here with us. And the officer who led us today on this, during the proceedings as we were entering, the Deputy Registrar in charge of Senate Affairs of this university, Mr. Owe, is also very much here with us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, without bothering you so much with the list of our eminent representatives and those on the Vice Chancellor's entourage, it is my honor and privilege to invite the Acting Vice Chancellor and Chairman of this occasion, the Deputy Vice Chancellor of our Ekewa campus, Professor John Ogene, to present the inaugural lecture.
This is an address by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Lilian Mwetinya Salami, FNSN, FIFHE, HEPAN. And also, this is the introduction of the lecturer, Professor Mrs. Caroline Edeke Ofowe, on the occasion of the 248th inaugural lecture of the University of Benin, delivered on Thursday, the 8th July 2021 at the Akindeco Main Auditorium of the University of Benin. Principal officers of the University of Benin, members of Senate, Provost, College of Medical Sciences, Deans of faculties and schools, professors and members of council, my lords, spiritual and temporal, staff and students of the University of Benin, gentlemen of the press, distinguished invited guests, and should I say golfers all, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 248th in the inaugural lecture series of the University of Benin. Today's lecture is the 20th to be delivered by my tenure as the Vice Chancellor of this university, the second in the Department of Mental Health, and the first by a clinical psychologist in the School of Medicine. I am happy to report that the second semester examinations are going on smoothly in the various faculties, schools, and institutes. I want to use this opportunity to further solicit for the cooperation of all stakeholders in ensuring that the current academic session is concluded successfully. Mrs. Caroline Edeke Ofowe was born on 2nd September 1963 in Jos, Plateau State, to the family of Mr. Thompson Avoshere Ojiko of blessed memory from Otokutu in Ugali South Local Government,